Do you feel like something has changed, but you still don't know what? The angels know. Today, they asked me to whisper to your soul what your mind has yet to understand. Yes, you were put on his path for a reason that cannot be explained by logic. This connection that stubbornly remains, even when everything seems uncertain, it's not a mistake, nor a neediness. It's a mission. The angels say, you are an answer to prayer. You are a miracle disguised as a woman. He might not understand. He might think it was just a coincidence meeting you. But you know it wasn't. From that first glance, something inside you quieted. And that silence wasn't empty. It was recognition. It was the soul saying, this is it. You were sent into this person's life for something much greater than love. You were sent to awaken. The angels show me scenes, him lost, confused, surrounded by empty choices. Until your light came in. Not with promises, but with presence. And just your presence made the foundations of his soul shake. Made the truth knock on the door he never opened. You didn't come to fix him. You came to remind him of who he is. And even when he tries to pull away, there is something in him that cries out for you in the silence. Because your energy doesn't demand, it reveals. Your sweetness doesn't bind, it frees. You are like a celestial mirror, showing him the purest and most wounded parts of himself. And that's why it sometimes hurts. Because this mission wasn't meant to be easy. It was meant to be divine. He may still lack the words for what he feels. He may not know how to act. But his soul has already recognized you. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I set you apart. Jeremiah 1 verse 5, this is the seal the angels place on this chapter. You are not a product of chance. You are part of a much larger, much more sacred plan. And when he looks back, he will understand. He will see that everything started to change when you arrived. There's a place inside him that has never been visited by anyone. A place that even he avoids. But you, with your light, arrived there uninvited. The angels say, it was your love that made his internal walls tremble. And that scares him more than he can admit. This person carries a past full of silent vows. I will never give in again. It's not worth trusting. Loving means losing. These promises were made in moments of pain, and his soul built a wall to protect what little remained. But when you appeared, that wall began to crack. And that's why sometimes he avoids you without explanation. That's why he falls silent when all you need is a gesture. He doesn't know how to handle what he feels because everything inside him has been trained not to feel. Have you noticed? He laughs, then shuts down. He moves closer, but then pulls away. It's not about you. It never was. It's about the wounds that still bleed even after so long. The angels show me that he has been taught to be too strong, to hold everything in, to not show weakness. But what he still doesn't understand is that love is not weakness. Love is healing. You are the first presence in years that asks for nothing, just exists. That doesn't force, just embraces. That doesn't demand, just remains with an open heart. And that disarms him. That's why he tries to run away. Because loving you confronts him with everything he has spent years trying to forget. He looks at you and sees hope, and that hope hurts, because it revives what was once lost. But the angels whisper, his resistance is not rejection. It's fear. A deep fear of losing something that truly matters this time. Continue being light. Continue being you. Not for him, but because that's your nature. He is in a process. And even though he may not know how, he already feels that there is something different by your side. A kind of love that doesn't hurt, it regenerates. The love you offer, even without words, is creating openings. Slowly, he is starting to see that maybe, just maybe, he doesn't need to hide anymore. Have you ever felt tired of trying? Like you're always extending your heart, waiting to be seen, embraced, and sometimes just ignored? The angels say, you were not made to beg for affection. You were made to be honored. In this journey of loving someone who is in a process, it's easy to lose yourself. It's easy to start thinking that if you give just a little more, he'll finally notice. That if you are more patient, more affectionate, more present, maybe he will change. But today, the angels are asking you to come back. Come back inside. To your center. To your body. To your soul. Because you have wounds too. You have stories you stopped telling for fear they wouldn't be understood. And you have been carrying the weight of two hearts, yours and his. But you are not meant to dim yourself for anyone. You are the temple. You are the fire. And fire doesn't beg to be warmed, it warms. It's time to remember who you are. To place your hands on your own chest and ask, what do I need now? Not what he needs. Not what others expect. But you. The woman who loves, but who also feels. Who cares, but who also needs to be cared for. The angels show me that when you choose yourself, when you take care of your energy, when you say not today, I need me, something changes. Not just within you, but within him as well. Because true love does not thrive on sacrifice. It blossoms in the space where both can breathe. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson you can teach him, that love does not require self-neglect. True love never asks you to diminish yourself to fit into someone else. Take care of yourself, beautiful soul. Start nourishing yourself again. Start smiling alone. Find joy in the little things. Because your shine does not depend on anyone else's approval. And it is exactly this shine, this sacred independence, that will show him, and the universe, that you are whole. Ready to love, yes. But also ready to be loved the way you deserve. There's something in you that he cannot ignore. It's not your beauty, although he sees it. It's not just your sweetness, although it touches him deeply. It's something deeper, something that confronts him. The angels say, you mirror what he's tried to hide even from himself. You are like a clear mirror in front of his dusty soul. And every time he looks at you, even without knowing why, he feels exposed. He sees in your eyes everything he hasn't had the courage to face in himself. His strength, his faith, his truth. Effortlessly revealing the lies he told himself to survive. You are light. And light, when it enters a dark room, reveals what is there. It is not the light that hurts. It is what was hidden. And that's why he hesitates. Because having you close makes him see himself. He sees his pain, his shadows, his masks. He sees how much he has protected himself, how much he has avoided feeling. And that unsettles him, disturbs him, and at the same time, draws him in. Because despite the fear, he feels that with you he can finally stop pretending. With you, he can let his shoulders drop. He can breathe deeper. He can be himself, without needing to hide behind armor. But for someone who has spent a lifetime being strong, vulnerability feels like weakness. And yet, it is everything he desires by your side, to let his guard down. To be seen. To be loved, even with the broken parts. The angels whisper, that's why he goes and comes back. Because being with you heals him, but it also scares him. Because you see beyond. You see the man he tries to hide from the world. And yet, he chooses to stay. Not because he needs you, but because he loves with the eyes of the soul, not with the eyes of judgment. And that is rare. That is sacred. You are the reflection of what he can be. And the more he runs away, the more that image will chase him, until he understands that it's not about you, but about what you awaken in him. You didn't come to complete him. You came to remind him that he is already whole, that he can indeed be love, and be loved, without fear. There's something new being born inside him, and even though he doesn't know how to name it, you feel it. It's like a gentle breath changing the direction of the wind. Something is moving. Something wants to be reborn. The angels say, you planted a seed in his soul. And now, even in silence, it starts to germinate. At first, he didn't notice. He thought it was just another beautiful presence, just another fleeting feeling. But you were different. You didn't pass by. You stayed. You lingered in the subtle spaces. You lingered in the scent. You lingered in the thought. You lingered in the silences. And now, he's starting to listen. To hear what the heart has always known, but the mind tried to silence. It's subtle, but it's real. He's starting to look within. He's beginning to question patterns. He's beginning to realize that what once made sense no longer serves him. Old habits weigh him down. Past relationships lose their shine. Empty conversations leave a sad echo. And you are the living reminder that there is something more. Something profound. Something that touches the soul. This awakening is quiet, but revolutionary. It doesn't happen with declarations or promises. It happens in a gaze that lingers longer than it should. In a gesture of affection that slips out of control. In a longing that appears uninvited. The angels show that this is the exact moment when his soul begins to remember who he is. And who he can be by your side. And no matter how much he resists, because resisting is all he's ever known, this awakening is inevitable. Because it's not you who's changing him. It's his truth that's emerging, touched by your presence. You were the spark. The turning point. The outstretched hand when he didn't know he needed to be rescued. And even though he's just at the beginning of this journey, the angels say he won't be able to go back to sleeping completely. Because once the soul awakens, it no longer accepts living halfway. Have you ever wondered why he gets close, and then pulls away as if nothing happened? Why there are days when he seems to see you fully, and other days when he acts as if you're invisible? The angels say, this is not disinterest. It's panic in disguise. His mind is a turbulent sea, full of waves of yes and no. He wants to surrender, but he's afraid. He wants to be close, but he fears losing himself. And this back and forth that confuses you is actually the reflection of the battle between what he feels and what he believes he deserves. He never knew what unconditional love was. He never learned that he could be accepted even on the days when he feels broken. And you offer something that disarms. Something he doesn't know how to handle. He thinks he needs to distance himself to protect himself. But the more he tries to protect himself, the more he misses you. It's a cycle. Closeness. Intimacy. Fear. Withdrawal. Silence. Longing. And then again, the urge to return. And you, sensitive soul, feel it all. You feel the chill of absences and the warmth of each reconnection. You feel the doubt he carries, as if it were your own. And perhaps you blame yourself for not knowing how to make it work. But the angels whisper, it's not you who needs to make it work. It's he who needs to learn to stay. This cyclical dance is not a sign that he doesn't feel. On the contrary, it's a sign that he feels so much that he doesn't know what to do with it. But within this cycle, something changes. With each return, he brings a little more of himself. With each silence, he listens a bit more. With each distance, he realizes that his absence weighs more than he imagined. You are being patient, but not passive. You are observing, feeling, choosing to stay whole even when he comes in pieces. And this strength of yours, this commitment without losing yourself, is slowly breaking down the armor he has worn for years. The angels ask you to trust. Because this cycle, despite being painful, is part of the healing process. And soon he will have to choose, keep running away, or finally stay. There's a tenderness in you that he has never experienced before. A gentleness that doesn't invade but envelopes. A love that demands nothing, and yet heals everything. The angels say, the love you feel for him is healing wounds he never had the courage to touch. You don't know, but there have been nights when he thought of you and cried. Not out of pain, but out of relief. Because suddenly, someone saw him. Not as the strong man, or the invincible one, but as he is. With his flaws, his falls, his silences. And even so, you stayed. And that for him is a miracle. This love you carry, calm, steady, quiet, has been a balm for the parts of him that no one has ever reached. He may not speak, he may not know how to show it, but he feels. And he feels deeply. There is a change happening. Slow. Almost imperceptible. But real. The way he looks at you. The way he listens. The way he hesitates less. How sometimes he stays close just to feel your energy. He is beginning to understand that loving can indeed be safe. That he doesn't have to choose between freedom and surrender. That with you, he can be whole, and still be loved. The angels show me that your presence has been medicine. Not because you heal for him, but because your presence allows him to desire to heal. And that is rare. That is sacred. You didn't come to save him. But your love is teaching him that salvation begins with feeling. It starts with allowing oneself to be cared for. It begins when someone finally doesn't give up. You held his hand without promising anything. And still, he felt as if he had found a home. And that's why he comes back. Even without knowing how to love you the way you deserve, he returns. Because in your love, he feels less lost. The angels ask you not to underestimate what you are doing. Loving with patience, with wholeness, with faith, is the most revolutionary and healing act there is. And he is learning this from you. Maybe you're wondering, what if nothing happens? What if all of this is just another lonely hope in my heart? But the angels are quick to answer, nothing you feel is in vain. Everything is being guided. There is a time that is not yours. And there is a plan that you do not yet fully know. But it exists. And it's unfolding, even on days when everything seems still. The angels say, you are not waiting for someone. You are walking with the faith that what is yours will find its way back. That person who occupies your thoughts is also being touched. In their own way. In their own time. Silently, they are being awakened from within. And every step, every silence, every distance, is part of a larger narrative that heaven itself is writing. There are nights when he feels your absence like an echo. Moments when he hears your name within his heart, even when he tries to distract himself. And in those moments, something pulls him back to the center. To what matters. To your energy. You might think he doesn't think about you. But the angels show that he talks to you in thoughts. That he looks for signs. That he asks for direction. And God hears. You might think you are alone in this wait. But the angels are moving the pieces, changing the seasons, opening portals for this connection to go in the right direction, even if you can't see it right now. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. This is the high seal for you today. Trust. Because when the time is right, when his heart is ready, when your light no longer intimidates, he will come. Not as before, but with truth, with presence, with commitment. Until then, keep moving forward with faith. It's not a waste of time. It's planting seeds. And the harvest will come. He has never learned that feeling is also strength. They always told him that crying was a weakness. That loving too much was risky. That trusting was asking to be hurt. And that's why now, even though he desires you so much, he hesitates. The angels say, the pain he feels is not from a lack of love. It's from not knowing how to handle the possibility of being truly loved. There's a wounded child inside him, locked away, hidden. A child who once reached out, and was not embraced. Who gave herself, and was left behind. Who believed, and was broken. And now, every time love approaches, especially yours, this child screams. And the adult retreats. You've seen this happen. When everything seemed to flow, he pulled back. When his gaze said stay, his actions shouted go away. But none of this is rational. It's fear acting before love can manifest. And you, with your sweetness, with your calm, are slowly dismantling those defenses. Deeply. Patiently. The angels show me that he wants to open up. That in many moments he almost told you everything. But then something interrupted him. A memory. A fear. A scar that started to ache again. Don't push. Don't pressure. Just continue to be that safe space. Because loving someone in process means choosing to love the silences, the setbacks, the difficult days as well. And know this, he notices. He feels. And that transforms him. The angels say, you are teaching him with your presence, that vulnerability is not weakness. It's a bridge. And that bridge, which he still fears crossing today, will soon be the path that leads him to you. The love you share, even if it's still subtle, is preparing the ground for something greater. For a commitment that will no longer be partial, but whole. And when he finally dares to cross that bridge, he will come not with empty promises, but with eyes that say, I see who you are. And it's with you that I want to be. There are moments when all that's left is to let go. Not because we give up, but because we understand that true love doesn't require control. Only surrender. The angels say, the right love doesn't bind. It frees. And it always returns, when it is of the soul. You have done everything you could with your heart. You loved without games. You offered your presence. You gave space. You waited. And now, perhaps without realizing it, you've reached the most sacred point of the journey. Trust. Trust that, even if he's not ready yet, love is working. Trust that everything that has been planted between you continues to bloom, even when the eyes don't see. Trust that the universe has heard your silences, your prayers, your gestures of faith. You are not here by chance. This connection was not born of illusion. It was a meeting of souls. The kind that defies time, fears, the ups and downs. And now what is asked of you is acceptance. To accept that you have done your part. That your love was whole. That your light was a seed. And that sometimes, the harvest comes in divine timing, not human timing. The angels whisper, everything that is meant for you, will know how to find you. And it will remain. Acceptance is not the end. It is spiritual maturity. It's saying, I continue to love, but I also continue to live. It's breathing deeply and opening your arms to what comes, knowing that what needs to stay will stay. If he is the answer, he will return. No longer with doubts, but with determination. No longer with fear, but with surrender. And you will know, with that peace that only comes from above, that it was all worth it. And we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8 verse 28, this is the final seal of your journey. Now, move forward with a light heart. Because you haven't lost anything. You have simply awakened love where it needed to be born the most. And what is born of love never dies. It only transforms.